You're listening to the Sales Chameleon Podcast. Smarter sales, stronger growth, simplified.
Hey there, and welcome back to another episode of the Sales Chameleon Podcast, where selling smarter starts. I'm your host, Heather Coggins, and today I'm going to be diving into something that is absolutely going to change the way you think about sales, especially if you're a small business owner or an entrepreneur. And so, some of you may be familiar with the auction house paradox. And for those of you who aren't, just imagine walking into an auction house with 100 seats. All right. The energy's buzzing. You've got paddles that are ready to fly, but there's a catch. Only 10 of those 100 seats belong to buyers, and they have unlimited means. Okay. So what does that mean? Well, suddenly the value of what's being sold isn't dictated by worth, but by who needs it the most. Okay, and so that theory right there, I guess, is essentially called the auction house paradox. And it actually plays out in sales every single day. And the reality is, customers, although some and a lot do buy on value, they don't always buy based on pure value, okay? They tend to buy based on necessity and who they trust to really deliver those solutions. And so in a world of, strategic buyers, do fundamentals really matter? And more importantly, how do you as a salesperson, as a small business owner, as an entrepreneur, how do you compete when the game feels, stacked against you? And so that's what I'm going to be unpacking today. I'm going to be talking through how consultative and versatile selling are really your best tools for success, especially in a marketplace where necessity often outweighs perceived value. So let's go ahead and jump right in. All right, so I want to dive a little bit deeper into the auction house paradox as it pertains to sales and business specifically. So when you've got a small group of buyers who end up holding a majority of the power, decisions typically aren't made based on who has the best product. They tend to be more based on who they trust to meet their needs the most effectively. And this is why some businesses with average products end up thriving while others with superior offerings tend to struggle. And so it's not about having the best pitch, it's all about positioning yourself as the best solution for that buyer's specific situation. And so for small businesses, this can, feel like an uphill battle against those larger competitors with more resources. But the thing is you don't actually need every buyer. You just need the right ones. And so what I want to do is talk a little bit more about why consultative selling is actually your competitive advantage when it comes to this. When we look at strategic buyers, they don't chase those features, okay? They buy solutions. And so as a salesperson, as a small business owner, an entrepreneur, if your pitch is loaded with all these features, all these specs, all these benefits, without actually tying them to the customer's actual problem, you're losing their attention, okay? It could sound phenomenal, but they're not bought in. And so, inserting or leveraging a consultative approach is going to really help you flip the script. And so instead of pushing what you think is valuable, what it does is it allows you to really take the time and truly understand what your customer needs and then position your offer accordingly, okay? And so when you leverage this approach, it really allows you to build that trust, build that credibility, and make the customer feel more comfortable, because when they feel heard, when they feel understood, they're more likely to not only buy that first time, they're more likely to keep buying and coming back as a recurring customer. And so what about versatile selling? Okay. When it comes to the role of versatile selling, you really have to adapt to the buyer's mindset. And so what do I mean by that? Well, not every buyer is going to approach purchasing the same way. All right. You're going to have some customers or some buyers who need detailed, data-driven conversations, while you're going to have others that just want a quick and confident answer, okay? And so versatile selling, what that means is just adjusting your approach to match the customer style based on where they are, how they prefer to communicate and be influenced. And so that could mean guiding a hesitant buyer with patience or closing quickly with a more decisive customer, okay? And so being able to identify that and then execute on that and have the ability to pivot and adapt is really going to build confidence and trust and make you not only a salesperson, but really that go-to resource for your customers, okay? They're going to really start seeing you as more of a trusted advisor than just some sales rep. Okay, all of that's great, understanding how consultative and versatile selling, fits into this, but how do I overcome that mentality of, these big players having the advantage? And so that's a good question, right? Large businesses, sure, they may have big budgets, but where they tend to lack is with agility, okay? They're often slow moving. They've got bureaucratic, all this red tape that they kind of have to work through. And they tend to be a whole lot more impersonal because of their size, okay? You've got all these large companies that have, tens of thousands of customer service reps. And anytime you call, the chances of you getting the same, service rep every time your chances of getting struck by lightning are probably greater than getting the same service rep when you call back with some of these larger companies. And so they lack that kind of personal touch. Whereas small businesses, on the other hand, kind of have a little bit of a secret weapon, and that lies in their ability to create and maintain those relationships. Okay, small businesses are really able to move faster, personalize their approach, and really provide a level of trust and service that those big companies just struggle to match. And so the key is really leveraging that trust, leveraging that credibility, and then positioning yourself as indispensable to the buyer's success rather than just another option. Okay. So as I start bringing this episode to a close, I want to leave you with a key takeaway and kind of a sign-off thought. And just remember, right, in a world where necessity drives buying decisions, consultative and versatile selling is really going to help give you that ability to compete, even when it feels like the odds are stacked against you. And so the businesses that win aren't always the biggest, okay? They're the ones who truly understand their buyers better, build that trust faster, and adapt smarter. And so if this episode resonated with you, be sure to share it with a fellow salesperson who needs to hear it, and make sure that you're hitting that subscribe button so that you never miss an episode. Until next time, keep selling smarter, stay versatile, and I will catch you on the next one.
Thanks for listening to the Sales Chameleon Podcast.